First online math lesson, here's what you will need. Have your math notebook to do the practice problems, and you have your pencil, then you're all set to go. Here we go. All right, lesson 92, we have dividing by two-digit numbers here. This is something you've had the opportunity to do in fourth grade, and we've done a little bit in fifth grade, but today's lesson solely focuses on this concept. So let's look at this first example here. We have 150 divided by 12. If you're feeling confident already in this concept, you can pause the video and you can try this example on your own. If you want to see one first, I'll demonstrate that for you right now. So we have 150 divided by 12. Now, remember we have the steps whenever we're doing long division. First step is divide. So we have 12, and we have this 1 here. I can't divide 1 by 12, so I'm going to put a 0 up there. All right, next step, we have multiply. All right, 12 times 0. These are the two numbers you'll multiply, the 12 and the 0. 12 times 0 is 0, so I put that down here. Next step you have is divide. So 1 minus 0, that gives me 1 left over. And the last step you have is to drop down. So drop down that 5, gives me 15. All right, back to the top of my order here of steps, back up to divide. So now I have 15 divided by 12. 12 goes into 15 one time. Multiply. 12 times 1 is 12. Subtract. Gives me 3. Drop down to 0. And now I have 30. Back up to the top to divide. 30 divided by 12. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2, 24. 12 times 3, 36. So I got to go with the 2 option here. Multiply. 12 times 2 is 24. Subtract. Gives me 6 left over. Drop down. Wait, I have nothing left to drop down. So that means I am done with the problem. 2 ways to write your answer. You can do 12 remainder 6, or what we've learned is instead of putting that remainder, you'll write it as 12 and 6 over 12. Last thing we need to do, reduce our answer at the end. So 6/12, I can divide 6/12 by 6 over 6, which gives me, now instead of 6 over 12, I have 1 over 2. So my final answer is 12 and 1 over 2. Right? All right, next example we're going to go on to. All right, 987 divided by 32. We follow our steps. Divide. 9 divided by 32. Can't do it, so it's a 0. Multiply. 32 times 0 gives me 0. Subtract. 9 left over. Drop down. Drop the 8 down. 98 divided by 32. Well, I know 32 times 2 gives me 64. 32 times 3 would give me 96. So I'm going to 3 up here. Now I multiply. 32 times 3 minus 96. Subtract. Bring down. And then I'm back to the top. Back to the divide step. 27 divided by 32. Can't do it, so I know I have 27. 27 divided by 32. Can't do it, but I still have a spot left up here. I can't just leave that spot empty. So what do? Well, 27 divided by 32, it's a 0, just like 9 divided by 32 was a 0. So I have 30 Multiply, 32 times 0 is 0. Subtract, bring down. Oh, nothing left to bring down. That means I'm finished. So now my answer is 30, and I have 27 left over. So 30 and 27 over 32. Now I have to think, can I reduce 27 and 32? Are there any common factors of those two numbers that I can reduce them by? Let's see, I know 27 can be divided by 3, but 32 cannot be divided by 3. So I think we're done. 30 and 27 over 32 would be my answer, right? One last example. This one's a word problem. I'll read it for you. Loma Vista School expects an enrollment of 868 students. The principal wants to have about 24 students and one teacher per classroom. About how many teachers are needed for the students at Loma Vista School? So right away it jumps out at me that I have two numbers. I have 868 and I have 24. Now I need to ask, what is the question asking me? About how many teachers are needed for the students at the school? Well, if I have 24 students to every one teacher per classroom, then I need to divide the number of students by 24, and that should give me my answer. So 868 divided by 24. Let me move this out of the way. All right, now I have a little bit more space. So divide 8 divided by 24, can't do it. 0. Multiply. 24 times 0 is 0. Subtract. Gives me 8. Bring it down. 86 divided by 24. Let's see. 24 times 1 is 24 times 2 is 48 times 3 would be, let's see, 60, 72. So I'm going to try 3. 24 times 3, multiply. 72. Now when I subtract here, I have 4 and a 1. All right. I did the subtract. Now I bring down 148 divided by 24. Well, I know 24 is smaller. It can go into there. But how many times? I'm not really sure. So I'm going to kind of estimate this. The 24 is close to 25. 148 is close to 150. And so I can do that kind of mentally. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. 150, so that's 6. So if I do 24 times 6 and see what that gives me, 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 2 is 14. That gives me 144. Wow, so that's really close. So I'm gonna do 6 here. Minus 144 gives me 4 remaining. Nothing left for me to bring down, so I know I'm done. So I have 36 and remainder 4, or 36 and 4 over 24. Now let's go back to the question. What does the question have to say here? It was asking for about how many teachers are needed for the students. About how many? So if I have 36 and 4 remainder 5, that means I need at least 37 teachers. All right, here's your lesson practice. Let's talk about your assignment a little bit. All right, so there are 3 parts to your assignment. Part 1 is something you're already used to doing. Complete lesson 92 lesson practice on a piece of paper, and you just take a picture of that sheet of paper and you upload it to the assignments in the general tab. All right, that's part 1 of your assignment. Just the lesson practice. Not 1 through 30, only the lesson practice. Part 2 of your assignment Through Clever, you can go to Mathletics and it'll pop up right on your screen the assignment that you need to complete. So, first part, lesson practice. Part 2, Mathletics. And the last part, you actually don't have to do anything. All you need to do is, through Clever, click on the Khan Academy app and just see what happens. This is something that we might use for class in the future. And so I want all of you to try logging in there to see if it works. If it doesn't work, there's another way I'll have to think of to get us in there.